Alright, so we are here in Algebra 1. We are on lesson 16-5 today. Today's date is Friday, April 26, 2019. Put your name and date on your papers right now. Let's see, did we actually do that? No. Jenny's just waiting. Alright, I just repeated this. You have to tell me it again. And let's come back here so I can get ready to give XP. What are the two steps? Always, always two steps whenever you're factoring. Julian.
Find the greatest common factor and ninja star.
Yes, we're going to factor out the GCF and then advanced ninja star. And as a reminder, if you go up to someone when you're in college and you say, oh yeah, just use the advanced ninja star, they probably won't know what you're talking about because that's a specific rule to Levining Elementary and Levining High School. Question?
So what is it actually called?
It's called factoring.
No, but like the ninja star.
It's a tool that we invent. Well, I didn't invent it. I just know that someone invented it, and there's some sometimes called diamond problems. I learned them as diamond problems when I was in 7th grade. I learned these, and they look like this. And I didn't even know I was factoring. They just said, okay. They just put a 2 up here, and then they put a 3 down here, and they said, okay, figure out what these numbers are, and here's how you solve those problems. And I solved those problems over and over, and then they're all, oh, by the way, you've been factoring this whole time. It's like, oh, now I know how to factor. So I don't know what name you would call them. It's whatever name you want to come up with. But in general, we're just factoring. It's a tool to factor. And it's one of the coolest tools also. I didn't learn about the Ninja Star, the advanced Ninja Star, until I was probably my 3rd year in college. So you guys are ahead of me. I only learned the normal Ninja Star. All right, so solve for x. We have 3 examples, and we can go immediately to the homework. So every single one of these I need to factor because our title today is solving these quadratics by factoring. Again, the reason I've been doing these last 2 units, how to add, subtract polynomials, how to divide, multiply, it's because you now are going to use it here with quadratics. Who can factor this one? Do I need to do step 1? What do I do? Look at example 1. What's the GCF? What is the greatest common factor? And I need to go back and give Julian his XP because I don't think I did that. Julian, there you go. Thank you. All right, what am I doing? First, Fernando. Advanced Ninja Star. Why Advanced Ninja Star and not Step 1? Yeah, the greatest common factor is 1. I can't do anything because what is the greatest common factor of 1, -4, -5? It's 1, so no GCF. Let's do an Advanced Ninja Star out here to the right. Here we go. This is Fernando's step. And Fernando, can you also tell me the top and bottom number and how you got that?
Is the bottom number the middle one?
It is.
Okay, so what?
-4, right?
Yeah, -4 and then
-5. Yep. -5 came from -5 times 1, and this bottom number 4 or -4 came from the middle number. All right. And we're halfway done setting that up. Can someone tell me what goes in the top left and the top right for our advanced Ninja Star? What goes in this spot and this spot? Quiet raised hand. Jenny? 1x. And 1x, yes. And you can just write x if you want, or you can write 1x. I'm going to go with what Jenny said. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. You can turn in your card. I should have 3 cards now. Julian, your card is in. Fernando, Jenny, your cards are in. All right, and finally, I need to actually solve this problem. What times what is -5? You only have really 2 options because it's a prime number. Prime numbers have that property of only 2 things go into them. Andres.
So it's for the first one, it's -5 and 1.
-5 and 1. Yeah, so 1 times 5 is 5, and then you have to figure out which one should be negative because I need to have a negative, and it's not a -1 because that would be a +4. It's a -5 to make a -4. All right, and Andres?
Wait, wait, what? What were you saying?
I was going to ask you to do the next part.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna be 1x -5 parentheses and then 1x plus 1.
There it is. Thank you, Andres.
Wait, can you give my XP to Julie?
No.
Why?
because you participated.
No, but Julie helped me.
I don't think you needed the help though. Again, we're using that special rule now that you only can be helped if you needed it, and I don't think you needed
Can
it.
I donate my
You can. I know that you're a crazy high level now. What are you, level 23? But
Wait, why can't I just every time I answer a question I can donate it?
if we want to revise our abilities for next year where you can transfer XP as one of your abilities, then we can do that. But we don't have that ability currently. All right, so that was example 1. Make sure you have it written down. I see no pencils writing. So we are done with example 1. On to example number 2. What's my first step? Jessica, go for it. Yes, and do you know what the greatest common factor is?
2.
It is, yeah. So let's factor that out. And Jessica, you're still up. 2 is the greatest common factor. So when I factor that greatest common factor out, what is left over?
6x.
6x. Ooh, careful. So if I factor out from 3 terms, I should be left with 3 terms on the inside. So first do the first term.
6. Wait.
What's 2x squared divided by 2? 2 divided by 2?
1.
So 1.
X squared
Good.
plus 6x plus 9.
There it is. Oh, I made a mistake, but that's okay.
Teacher.
It is a teacher error. And who wants to get it?
Julie, whatever.
Who can find the teacher error from example 1? I'll give you a hint.
I know it.
There's my hint. That's not our final answer. Who can guess the teacher error?
I can't.
No.
I have my card still.
Yeah, that's true, Gunner.
Wait, but I know
take
you.
the,
Yeah.
do take away the 1 and the 1x.
No.
Andres, go for it.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
But this. Wait, Julie. Okay, so it's.
No.
I want to give him the explanation.
No, I called on you, Andres. If he had his hand raised and needed help, then you could help.
Equals 0.
Yes, there it is. Everyone write it down. Sorry, we weren't done with the problem. I was so used to doing unit 15. This needs to equal 0. This thing was factored as 1x minus 5 times 1x plus 1, but I forgot this right-hand part of it equals 0, which means I have to come back and finish example 1. So this is using the zero product property, which we have been already using in unit 16. So the zero product property says what with a quiet raised hand? What is equal to 0? What else is equal to 0? Jose? Yeah, so I'm going to set this equal to 0, and I'm going to set that equal to 0.
So that's not the final answer.
So this is not the final answer. So Jose, tell me what to do.
X minus 5 equals 0.
And
X plus 1 equals 0.
everyone write it down. The zero product property says that if something times something is 0, if they both can potentially be 0, set them equal to 0. And that's what Jose did. He set both of these factors to 0. Thank you, Jose. And now I have your card. All right, then I solve. Who can solve both these for me nice and quick? Fernando, go for it.
X equals 5 and X is negative 1.
Equals -1. Now we box our answer because it actually said to solve for x, not to factor, but to solve. Solving means you need to say x equals blank. X equals the answer. And those are the answers, 5 and -1. What does that mean on a graph? Trying to get some conceptual understanding here. What does this mean on a graph? X equals 5, x equals -1. Does anyone know what this means on a graph? I see only 2 hands, 3 hands. Jose?
X-intercepts.
Yeah, those are the x-intercepts. So you don't have to write this down, but just trying to make sure that you guys understand what's going on. If I had a graph, then over here at 5 and over here at -1, those would be the x-intercepts, and I'd have a parabola that looks like that. That's what's happening in this problem. All right, now we can move on to example 2. So, Jessica just factored out the greatest common factor. So now I need to factor this even more. Jessica just did step 1, factoring out the GCF. Now we're on to step 2, Advanced Ninja Star. Who can help me set up the entire Advanced Ninja Star? I'm giving preference to people that still have cards. Ninja Star on this thing. I don't know what that was. I guess I could do a curly brace. Who can do Advanced Ninja Star on that one? Sergio, go for it.
advanced ninja star. No, right at the top. 6 at the bottom. X.
There it is. Everyone write it down. There's Sergio's setup of the advanced ninja star. Some good review here. All right, then I need to solve the advanced ninja star. Eder, yeah, go for it.
3 and 3.
There it is. Write it down, everyone. 3 and 3. 3 plus 3 is 9. 3 times 3, or sorry, 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, Eder, can you also write out what I should rewrite this thing as? And don't forget that number out front. Don't forget that GCF.
X plus 3.
Equals 0.
Yeah, one more time.
X plus 3.
Yeah, because you did this x plus 3. Now you're going to do that one, what you just said. X plus 3. And Eder, you're forgetting one number out front. Only give him help if he needs it. Only if he needs it, too. Yes. Good job, Eder. Thank you. Perfect. So, Eder has done another step for factoring. Now we have 3 things multiplied by each other.
Oh, question, can you do this? Like X.
Yes, you can totally do that. Yeah, so what Sergio is showing me right here is you could have also written this as another way. You could have said 2 times x plus 3 squared is equal to 0. Both of those are 100% correct. Either way. All right, so from here, I totally forget if I gave Eder. I did, okay. From here, now I need to use the zero product property. How am I going to do that? Something equals 0, something else equals 0. If you're doing it Sergio's way, where you have something squared, you're going to do it a little bit differently, where you're going to need a square root. Only one person knows the zero product property. That's not good. We just did the zero product property 2 days ago. 2 people know. 3 people know. Come on, guys. I want some new hands. This group, Monse, Cohen, I haven't heard from you. Josie, haven't heard from you. Gunnar, I think your card is in, right? All right, Jessica, go for it.
Oh, I'm gonna raise my hand.
That wasn't raising your hand? All right, Fernando, go for it.
X plus 3 equals 0. X plus 3.
X plus 3 is equal to 0. I'm going to pause here. After writing this, let's pause. So, what happened to the 2? That's the question that I want to ask you guys. And what do you think is going on? Why are we not doing anything with that 2? Andreas, talk to us.
It's gone.
It's gone. Be more specific. What happened to it?
Vanished. I mean, okay.
Got taken care of by the mafia.
So since you like set x, both terms x and plus 3 to 0, you don't. Never mind.
All right, tag team, Jose.
So when you like set both of them equals 0, using like the 2 cancels out.
What do you mean by the 2 cancels out? No, it's okay. So what I want to show you guys here is something kind of cool. And again, if you don't understand this, you'll still be able to solve the problems. Totally okay. What I could do here is I could divide before I did this step. So if I cross this step out, don't cross that step out. I'm just showing you what could happen. What if instead my first step was divide both sides by 2? Divide both sides by 2. What's 0 divided by 2? 0. Which means now I have 0 is equal to x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 3. The 2 can be divided by both sides. That's one answer. Here's another answer. I'm trying to find something that is set equal to 0. So I'm trying to solve for x. I don't care about the 2 because I know about the zero product property. This thing times this thing times this thing equals 0, which means either this thing equals 0 or this thing equals 0. 2 can never be 0. That would break the fundamental laws of mathematics. So there's 2 answers there. I'm looking to solve for x, knowing that I'm using the zero product property, so I don't have to worry about the 2. It can never be 0, or I can divide both sides by 2. All right, coming back here before I cross out all that lines, Command Z a bunch of times. All right, I have these 2 equations. Easy volunteer, easy points. Solve this thing, Sergio.
X equals -3. And x equals
Exactly. And you could get the same answer over here. Divide both sides by 2. Just take the square root of 0, which is 0. And then plus or minus 0 is 0. And then you subtract 3. You'll also get x equals -3. Question, Andres?
So, like, the thing that you just did when you divide the coefficient,
Yeah.
like to the other side 0.
Yeah.
Would you have to do that for all, like, every time for every problem like that, or?
You don't have to. No, you can just ignore it and pretend it's not there. Yeah. All right, so there's only one answer. Since these are the same answers, I'm only going to box one of them. Boxing both of them is kind of pointless because they're the same answer. X was -3. Just one answer, and it was -3. If you know how to do example 2, you can do example 3. So you all are going to do example 3 on your own, in groups, however you please. See if you can do example 3 now. All right, example number 3, solve for x. This should be nice and quick since most people have the answer. First step is to quiet raised hand. Jessica, which is
3.
times the quantity of
1x to the power 2 minus x minus 6 parentheses equals 0.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. I need someone to do the ninja star for me now. Who's going to do the ninja star? I only see a few hands so far. Monse, yes.
-6 on top,
Okay.
and then 1 on bottom.
Okay. Top left, top right.
X, and then 2 and -3.
2 and -3. Ooh, what's going on with this bottom number? It should be
1x.
Negative 1.
-1.
Oh, yeah, -1.
There it is. Yeah. Thank you, Monse. And you want to just finish it off for us as well?
Yes.
Finish factoring, so it's going to be 3 times the quantity of
X plus 2 and x minus 3.
Thank you, Monse. We'll give it to someone else now. Monse's in. And finally, what is my answer and how do I get that? Josie, do you want to go? No. Cohen, do you want to try this one? Just tell me what to do. Zero product property. So just plug in 0, or am I setting this whole thing to 0? Okay, so x plus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 3 is equal to 0. My answers are x is equal to... There they are. Thank you, Cohen. All right, that is the end of the notes. The homework is on Khan Academy. There are 2 assignments. Make sure you finish writing a nice summary. Your summary can just be those same 2 steps or a ninja star or something very simple.